talking about? They talking about what? They talking about sports. Oh, really? Well, this is R.I.H.
Out on the field, the ball on no courts. They wanna talk about sports. They need a resource where they can come talk about sports. They really be talked, but we know the facts. Stacks, yeah, that's where it's at. We the hottest on the map. This is our take on. This is our take on. Yeah, they need a resource. We got you, just make up the choice. Who out here making that noise? This our take on sports. This is our take on. This is our take on. This is our take on. This is our take on sports.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. He is your host, Mr. MP80 Baby.
And that's your host right there, Mr. GPG.
And welcome to
Our Take on Sports.
On this sports podcast, we keep you in tune with all the latest information, updates, sports, highlights on everything that happened throughout the week, man. And we ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna dive right in. That's what the people want, man. But before we get started, man, we're gonna pay a little homage to some superstar legends that passed away this week, man. We want to pay our respects to two legends, man. It was Dikembe Mutombo and it was Pete Rose. Now, I'm going to start a little bit with Mr. Charlie Hustle a little bit. I ain't too much time on him, but we do have to honor him on this show. Okay, Mr. Charlie Hustle, man, Pete Rose played from 1963 to 1986. Most of those years that he played with the Cincinnati Reds, you know, but he did have a little stint with the Philadelphia Phillies in 1979 to 1983. And he had a little stint with the Washington baseball team in 1984. But he did finish his career with the Reds in 1986. He had career numbers of 14,053 at-bats. He scored 2,165 runs and had 4,256 hits with 1,314 RBIs. Now, he had a good eye as well, too. He walked 1,566 times, and he had a career high of home runs with 160, and also batted .303 for his career. What do you think about Mr. Charlie Hustle?
I mean, he was an outstanding baseball player. What can we say? I mean, the only thing that I can say is I just hate at the, that he kind of tarnished his legacy, towards the end. But everything that you said, Mr. GPG was on point. If you got to witness him play, he was bad at what he did. We just, because we saw the whole, most of his career, we got to see the ending, and, it kind of tarnished him a little bit. But hey, man, big ups to you, Mr. Pete Rose, man. Rest in heaven. And, we're going to keep it going.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't have said it better myself, man. We're going to get to the next one, man. We got to give it up for Mr. Dikembe Mutombo, man. Rest in heaven, Dikembe Mutombo. Dikembe Mutombo passed away earlier this week, people. He was 58 years old. He was a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year that passed away from brain cancer. Okay. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about his career. In his rookie season with the Denver Nuggets, he had his best season scoring-wise. He averaged 16.6 points a game with 12.3 rebounds and just 2 assists that season. But in 1999 through 2001, he averaged 14.1 rebounds a game, which led the NBA. And he played in the NBA Finals, which you all may know, in the 2001 Finals with Allen Iverson, which they lost to Shaq, Kobe, and LA and them boys. Dikembe Mutombo was born June 25th, 1966 in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of the Congo. Okay? Our heart goes out to his wife, Rose, and his son, Ryan Mutombo, who currently actually plays for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, number 12. So if you guys don't know that, you guys can check him out. And we can never forget, we're going to also rest in peace with Dikembe Mutombo with the finger wave. That was that signature move. That no. That was his move, man. What do you got to say about Mr. Dikembe Mutombo?
I mean, I can't do nothing but honor him. He did great work here in Atlanta, and he continued, even after his career, continued to do work here in Atlanta. I believe that throughout his career, Atlanta Hawks was his biggest, his prominent, blocking everything that came in. Every shot that came in, he was trying to block. So big ups to Mutombo. I hate to see a giant go down like that. They do say the taller you are, the harder you fall. I just, pray that he didn't go out in pain, So if he was in any pain while he was on this side of the dirt, that is a big relief that he's not in pain no more. So big up to Mr. No No. If y'all don't know, my partner Big Rich does have a song I call No No, and that is dedicated to Mutombo. So go check that out.
Recognize that on our take on sports, we hear and we care about. We're going to move on, man. We're going to get into some later news right now, man. We got the WNBA action. Now, are the Aces, tell me, are the Aces about to get set? And are they about to get set? The Liberty beat the Aces 88-84 to take a 2-0 series lead. Now, Sabrina Ionescu, she led the Liberty with 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. Miss Asia Wilson, Miss Asia MVP, she's going to always do her thing. She led the Aces with 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. It just wasn't enough. Miss Chelsea Gray is a little off. Miss Kelsey Plum is a little off. Miss Jackie Young is a little off. And the New York Liberty are really causing them a problem. What do you think about that series?
One thing I can say is Liberty is actually spreading the ball around. They're not dependent on 1-2 players to get them over the hump. That's one thing that I did notice, Mr. GPG. And again, everybody that has watched our segments know that I've been riding out with the Aces. And I'm I got to ride out with them. I mean, I put it on the first episode. I was riding all the way out with them. But I got to give it up to Liberty. Like you said, they're spreading the ball around. I'm looking at some of their stats, and I mean, they have at least 4 to 5 people in double digits on points. So I mean, you can't do nothing. How can you stop that? Like you said, the score was 84-88. It's a hard uphill battle for the Aces. Can they do it? It's possible, but we both know in the NBA how hard it is to come back from a deficit to where you haven't won anything, this is what a best out of 5 series as well. So this the elimination, they could be going home. I hate it for them. Big up to R.I.H. Y'all did y'all thing this year. Just not enough for them Liberty.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. I have to take my hat off to what we've seen so far. I mean, let's be honest. They have held. They've done what they're supposed to do on their home court. I mean, now they're getting ready to go back to Las Vegas, and we're going to see what the Aces can do on their home court. Now, if the Aces can hold serve on their home court, it could be an interesting Game 5. But I will say this, Breanna Stewart, she can be a problem. Jacquel Jones is a real problem. She can slow down Asia. Now, nobody's going to stop Asia. Asia is the MVP and the best woman basketball player in the world. We all know that. But, if you can slow her down a little bit, that's all that Jacquel Jones is asked to do in this series. And one more thing that I will bring up is bringing Courtney Vandersloot off the bench instead of having her in the starting lineup to ignite that second unit.
Yes.
That is key. Yes. That is key for the New York Liberty and their success. It doesn't put everybody on the court, and it gives them just that little bit more firepower coming off the bench to help the New York Liberty.
I agree with that, Mr. GPG. I mean, I couldn't have said that one better there. I mean, that's a good take on that one. We're going to move on along to the next game. Sir. What next game you got for me?
We got the Minnesota Lynx, man. They defeated the Connecticut Sun 77-7 to even the series up at 1 game apiece. Now, they had 3 ladies in double figures. Miss Courtney Williams had 17 points. Miss Elena Smith had 15 points. And Kayla McBride had 11 points to add it on to what the Minnesota Lynx was able to do. But the Connecticut Sun, Miss DeWanna Bonner, she had 17 points and 6 rebounds. And Alyssa Thomas had 18 points and 10 rebounds. It just wasn't enough. Now, I also recognize that Miss Alyssa Thomas played all 40 minutes in that game. And I'm wondering if that may have played a little part in her fatigue running out a little bit later on in that game. What do you think about that? I'm not sure.
I can see what you're saying. She did play all 40 of them minutes. And knowing how hard they did play the first game to get that win, yeah, I can see her running out of fuel just a little bit. So it's going to be an interesting third game. With them being tied right now, that's going to be interesting. But yeah, I'm with you on that one, Mr. GPG. I can't say I believe she ran out of gas. I mean, she's putting up. The girl put up a double. You can't. I mean, you can't ask for no more than that. I mean, she can't carry them every game. So they need somebody else to step up. I mean, she was the top scorer. You got to spread the ball around some more. I mean, you did, like you said, you had 4 people in double digits, but look at the assists. Nobody's really spreading the ball. And once the ball gets to other people, it's kind of getting stuck. So I believe that's what kind of got in transition that second game on. Once they get out that hump and get a little energy, I feel that they'll be right back in it. It's going to be a real good game, this third game.
Yes, absolutely. Once that series shifts down to Connecticut and they're on their home court, I believe that the Sun may end up having a little answer for what happened to them in Game 2.
Yeah,
it was good that Minnesota did get Game 2. Their backs was against the wall. There's just no way in the world they can go to Connecticut down 0-2. They probably would be done in Game 3. You know what I mean? So it was very key that they ended up getting that split. They definitely wanted to take both games at home, but that doesn't happen sometimes. But you just let that other team come on your home court and win both games and then go back to their home court. That's asking a lot for the Minnesota Lynx. So I'm glad that they ended up pulling this victory out. Tip my hats off to those ladies, but there's still a lot of work to do.
It's a lot of work. A lot of work. I'm just glad to see that one series won't be a sweep. Not saying the Aces will get swept, but man, it's just God. I just hate to see them go down 2-0. So we're gonna move on down to this baseball, the wild card round.
Kansas City Royals is a tough team. Former World Series champions a few years back. They always bring that fight to the table. I expect Baltimore to rebound and hit the ball a little bit better. When a pitcher only gives up one run in a game, you expect your offense to pick that up.
Right.
So I expect the Baltimore Orioles to turn that around, help out their pitching staff, give them a little bit of run support, because that 1-0, you can't do that. You have to be able to support the pitchers when they're only giving up one run a game.
I agree. Even though the run did come in the 6th inning by Witt Jr., he singled to the left, got Garcia home. And the pitchers came and pitched that game. I mean, what can we say? I mean, we can sit here and say offense needed, more. But, man, when you got two, they did what both teams did what they supposed to do. And they started, they both tight pitch, number one pitchers. You got Reagan. He was able to go 6 innings. Long and the others to come in and kind of close it out. For the Royals, and then for the Orioles, you had Burns. He pitched 8 innings. So I mean, for you to do that, you got to know that their arms, their shoulders, everything was loose. They wasn't tight, and both defense was playing. I mean, they wasn't giving up anything. So I mean, shout outs, to game 1. It was a tight game, but only one could win, and the Royals won. So we'll definitely see what they do here in this next game that's coming up. We'll go to the next game, and that was the Mets and the Brewers. That was an offensive game. 8-4, the Mets did get one out there, the Brewers. And that's going to be a tight one now, because now you gotta go to New York and try to win one. What you think about that one, Mr. GPG?
I think the Mets, man, they've been playing pretty good ball later on, in late September, just to get up to this point. And for them to win that doubleheader, at least the first game of that doubleheader, to get, to solidify their position into the playoffs, I think that was key. That was big. I think they kind of probably took their foot off a little bit the second game, which I don't think they really mind. You know, they had every right to. They celebrated a little bit and they got in. The Braves got in, and tip my hat to both of those organizations. But then when it came down to them going ahead and let's buckle down, and it's the first game of the wild card series, and they're playing against the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't see Milwaukee being able to be a threat to them right now. I think the New York Mets they're on a roll. It doesn't necessarily matter who has the better players in baseball. It's who's hitting the best, who's pitching the best, who's playing the best baseball at that time. So right now, I see that the New York Mets are playing pretty good ball, and they're a scary team, man. I'm not gonna count out what the Brewers are capable of doing, but they're gonna have to show up, or they're gonna end up homes fast.
And I have to just piggyback off of that. There was no home runs hit that whole game. So all that was just ball on bat. So, I mean, that's just, that's just experience. I mean, technique and experience. That's all I can say about that one. So, yeah, the Mets are a scary team. I think I spoke on that a little bit on the last tape, why I wouldn't want the Braves to see the Mets or Philly or the Dodgers. I mean, God almighty, I can put. Speaking on the next game, it was the Braves and the Padres, and the Braves did drop that one. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything at first inning. They let a home run go, and their pitcher, the first pitcher, he's the youngest on the pitching squad that they started yesterday, which I couldn't understand that one. I thought they would have came out with something, but they came out with AJ Smith, and he gave up a home run in the first inning, and it was a 2-1 home run. And that just downfall the Braves. They had a chance in the first inning, in the second inning to put points on the board, but they just couldn't get around that third base. So, give me your take on that. What you see about that again?
I didn't expect too much. I didn't expect much from the Braves in game one.
Yeah.
I mean, they just fought and played two, doubleheader Monday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then once they had to play the doubleheader Monday, then they had to go home, pack up, get on a plane, and fly across the country to play in California.
First team in history now.
And a 3-hour time change.
Yeah.
Now, over here on the West Coast, and compared to the East Coast, it's a 3-hour time change. So I didn't expect too much from the Braves in game one. Yeah. I expected the Padres that had been sitting home, rested and waiting and comfortable and in their own beds, eating their own dinners, kissing their wives and playing with their kids, and then go to the baseball field. I expected them to come on out, while the Braves are spending so much energy just to get to this point. And then to have to fly, across the country, like I just said, and then to have to play a baseball game. I didn't expect too much from the Braves in game one, but I do expect them to rebound in game two. Watch out, Padres. Fernando Tatis did have a big home run.
A big game.
It saved them, and it put them up a little bit, gave them a little distance. But game two is when I start really paying attention to that series.
All right. So, today we got Tigers and the Astros, Royals, Tigers and the Astros at 2:30 Eastern time. So that'll be coming on about 11:30 your time. Then you got the Royals and the Orioles at 4:38, Mets and the Brewers at 7:38. The Braves play tonight at 8:38. Any take on any of them games? Would it start with the Tigers and the Astros?
No, I'm just interested to see who. Now is when the series starts, I believe. I know that everybody would love to get that game one, but now is when the series starts. It's in game two. Everybody's a little bit more comfortable. They're set. They're ready. Their rotations are set as far as pitching. I think now is when all the series starts. I'm interested to see, like I said, I'm definitely interested to see what the Braves do with the Padres. That's probably my most interesting game out of all of them, because, I want to see what happens if when one of those teams meet the Dodgers. The Dodgers is still going to be my sleeper team. That's going to be my team that I believe.
They're stacked.
They stacked, man. They stacked. So when I look at that roster, man, you know what? We'll get to that later on in another show. I don't even want to talk about it right now.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's the games for the day. So I guess we can get up into Davante Adams. There's been
Oh,
rumors, yo boy, Davante, you know, you had to give up Davante. He wanted to go play, from what they say, he wanted to go play with Derek Carr out there in, you know, Las Vegas. And, you know, then we all know what happened to Derek Carr. He's now playing with New Orleans Saints. And so Davante apparently heard a tweet or read a tweet or something about his coach saying, hypothetically, I don't even think he was probably serious, but maybe putting him on a trade block. And Davante went on and said, requested for a trade right after. What's your take on that?
long time coming. It was bound to happen the minute that they traded Derek Carr to the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Davante, a constant professional, said all the right things, went out there and played hard every single day. But we all know football, man, you can lose your life, man. This is a contact serious sport. And it's real out there, man. And this is his career. This is career. So it's expected. I expected this to happen. Where he ends up, don't know. It's a lot of teams out there that are wishing, you know, they could definitely use his services. And my Packers, we one of them. I would love to bring his butt right back home and play with my receiving crew and Jordan Love. But I don't think that's going to happen because of the money-wise. He's a great player. I can't wait to see where he lands.
Well, right now they're saying one of the number one teams that's really reaching out to him right now, of course, yo boy, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. So how would that look if he ended up with go Jets go?
I mean, history shows that when they were in Green Bay that they can, you know, play great together and put up good numbers. But this ain't 2020 and 2019, 2018, you know, all those years that they played together. This is 2024. Everybody's aged. Things have changed. A step has been lost by both people. I'm sure he would go out there and do good. But is that going to fix the Jets' problems? Because I'm not sure if adding Davante Adams is going to put them in the Super Bowl. I swore I just saw Aaron Rodgers just get sacked 5 times. I swore I just saw the offensive line commit 5 false starts. I swore I just seen this whole team commit 10 offensive penalties. 10. So I'm not sure if adding Davante Adams is going to fix that. Of course he would love to go play with Aaron Rodgers. He put up the best numbers of his career with this
Aaron
man.
Rodgers. Right.
Of course he's going to want to go play with him so he can try to duplicate the numbers that he put up. But he also said something about going to play in New Orleans with Derek Carr.
He did. And
down there and trying to go back and play with his boy. And we seen how that worked out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look, Davante Adams, you're not getting no younger. He's 31 years old. He's not getting any younger, and his career is on the tail end. It's on the back 9, as they would say in golf. If I'm him, I'm looking to go make sure that I'm on a championship contender, and I'm not necessarily looking to go back. I'm not necessarily looking to go and try to rekindle what me and Aaron Rodgers had. I'm not necessarily looking to go and rekindle what me and Derek Carr had the little bit of time that we had in the Raiders and when we was in Fresno State.
Right.
I'm not sure if that's what I'm looking for. I'm chasing the championship along with the bag.
Okay.
You feel me?
And I mean, so another team that's in the hunt for him is Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, do you think Justin Field and Russell Wilson, they could use one more great wide receiver out there. But just to see the breakdown how Fields, you know, he's running almost every play. It's like he's scared to look for his wide receivers at time. But I believe they have way more money than New Orleans. New Orleans don't have no money. I woke up to being scared. I got Twitter. My Twitter was going off about the Saints and doggone Davante Adams, and I automatically almost dropped my phone, and I had to go and make sure it wasn't real, because that's the last place I want to see this kid is in the South. So I would push him far away. But I want him to stay in the AFC. Just push him far away. Unless he's with the Falcons, then I don't even believe we have enough money to get him now, because we don't, have so many big splashes. But how would it impact the Pittsburgh Steelers if he was to join that roster? They are 3-1.
I don't care what their record is.
Okay.
I don't care what their record is. They're playing good ball. I'm not going to disrespect Pittsburgh. They're playing good ball. They got some good boys over there. Najee Harris and Justin Fields is playing a little bit better than anybody expected. Mm-hmm. They got some good receivers, and we all know what T.J. Watt brings to the table. I just don't see that connection.
Okay.
I just don't see that connection. I don't see Justin Fields to Davante Adams. I don't see it working well enough to get to a Super Bowl. So if you make this trade, let's make sure we keep this. We make sure we understand this. Okay. All the fans there, everybody that's listening on R.I.H on Sports right now, let's make sure we understand this. If you make that trade, should be something that puts you in the conversation of being in that Super Bowl. You don't make that trade just to bring them on your team.
Just to have a name.
Just to have a name on your team. I don't think you do that. I think you have to make that trade, being that puts you in the position to go over the top. If you're not in the position to go over the top, I don't see why you should even make that trade. Mm-hmm. And I just personally do not see Justin Fields to Davante Adams being the quarterback receiver duo to get it.
Well, one thing that you did point out, and I agree with you, is that if he's going to go anywhere, he need to go somewhere that he's a true contender for the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
So I do agree with you, because the next team that we could talk about is Washington. And everything you just said about Pittsburgh is pretty much Washington as well. But this is a team that I will bring up, that they are very much interested in pulling your boy, and that is Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Now, if he was to end up to go and play with Josh Allen and that Buffalo defense, that's totally different. I can see a Josh Allen and a Davante Adams connection.
That's the best position for him. To me, that's the best place for him to go. I believe that he should go to Buffalo. He'll be the clear number one. He'll have a wonderful quarterback that can get him the ball. We all know what Josh Allen brings to the table. I think that that's the best place for him to go. Now, let's be honest. For his career, I want him back in Green Bay.
Right.
I'm going to sit here on R.I.H on Sports and be like, Davante, please come to the crib. I want his butt back in Green Bay. But honestly, I can see him going to Buffalo and them being a serious threat out there. Yeah. I really can.
Yeah, I can too. And I'm not going to take too much time on the rest of the team. It's maybe 4 more teams. We'll probably talk about one other team that's actually interested in them. But you got Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. They interested in him, of course. Baltimore Ravens, they are interested in him. And we'll talk about Kansas City Chiefs and Los Angeles Chargers. Now, out of those two teams, Kansas City, the Chargers, if he was to end up with Kansas City, that should be an automatic Super Bowl, right?
I swear, man, if the Raiders send Davante Adams to the Kansas City Chiefs, they are the dumbest, stupidest organization in football. That's just stupid. Why would you send him to your
rival
competition?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why are you going to send him to a team that you're going to play twice a year? That makes absolutely no sense. Yeah. Why are you trying to help Patrick Mahomes get his 3rd Super Bowl? Let him do that on his own. I'm not trying to help Patrick Mahomes get his 3rd Super Bowl. You good enough. You can do it on your own. I'm not sending Davante Adams to Kansas City. And I hate it if they do, man. If that happens, and I thought about it, and if it happens, it's just going to be, come on, man. That's just not even fair. It's not fair, man.
It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair, but they would definitely have to give up. They would definitely have to give up a lot to get Davante. I mean, I think that he wanted a 2nd round. They looking for a 2nd round pick. The Raiders, I guess that's how they shopping them, for a 2nd round pick and whatever else they can probably get off of somebody's roster. But you talk about somebody like Dallas what you got, the couple role players that you could give up, like you can shop back Brandon Cooks for Davante with a second round, you know, and still be okay. And still be okay. I mean, we know that with this going on, Raiders not going to do anything with. They're not going to win with Davante. Davante don't want to be there no more. So the thing is, getting somebody that can be at least a 2 to go in behind Mayers and Brock Bowers.
Okay. You get Brandon Cooks out there in LA. What does that in Vegas? What does that do?
It don't deploy them, do it?
It doesn't do anything for him. I don't think it does anything for either team. I don't think if Davante Adams goes to Dallas, okay, great. Okay, they're gonna score a little bit more points. They're gonna stop anybody from running the ball? Are they gonna finally buckle down and stop teams from running for 200 yards on them? That addition to Davante does nothing but help their offense. Offense wins games, defense wins championships. That's it. That's what I've been known. I know offenses have been putting up numbers in the Super Bowls lately. Jalen Hurts in Kansas City a few years ago. You've seen what San Fran and Kansas City did last year. I know offenses have been scoring, but you still have to come down to stopping somebody. And if they don't stop anybody, what difference does it make if Davante Adams is on this side and CeeDee Lamb is on this side? What difference does it make?
He could be the answer out there and be more. You know, he could be the answer out there for be more.
There you go. There you go.
Lamar Jackson needs.
Absolutely.
But we have seen him with veterans, though. It's not like we haven't seen Lamar with veterans, though.
Lamar's had receivers. I mean, you can't sit there and say that he hasn't. I mean, but I would love to see Davante Adams go to Baltimore. I would rather see Davante go to Baltimore more than I would rather see Davante go to Buffalo. I would rather see that. I think that Lamar Jackson needs that straight up security blanket, you know, other than Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews and being able to run the ball. If they get Davante Adams, teams they're gonna come up out of that 8-man in the box. Because you can't sit there and just play with Davante one-on-one all day long. So now you got a dilemma. Now you got to sit there and say, okay, do we put 8 in the box to try to stop King Henry and Lamar Jackson from running? Or do we have to drop back in a freaking nickel or a dime or a cover 2 or 3 or something and try to man-to-man and try to slow down Davante Adams and throw a little a spy on him? Please. Now you got a dilemma. So if I'm Baltimore, I'm going after him. But the last thing I heard was Baltimore ain't got the money either.
And that's what it's going to come down to. Who has the money? And I think out of all the teams that we talked about, Buffalo has the money.
Yes.
Buffalo has the money. I can see you guys taking a chance on them again if y'all can persuade them to come back. But Buffalo,
I don't think
y'all have
we
the
can count
money.
us out.
Yeah.
We can count us out, man. We already shot that offer to him before he even went there.
Yeah.
You know, what we was going to pay him, and he hung up the phone on us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know we ain't got 30 million, 33 million, 35 million that he going to ask for.
Yeah.
He going to demand 33 to 35 million. So I know that we ain't got that. So we can just move on from that.
All right. Well, that's our take on Davante. What we got next there, Mr. GPG?
Well, before we close the show, man, we got the big game tomorrow night. Now, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going against your Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rolling into Atlanta at a 3-1 record. Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. The boys is rolling in there, man. They talk about they want to come in there and try to put a statement down, man. One of those teams can lead 4-1 or both of them can lead 3-2. Tell me what's going to happen in that game.
Oh, man, I tell you what needs to happen. The Falcons need another win. That's what I can tell you. If they want to solidify themselves in this division, the South, which everybody keeps saying is the weakest, and it can't be the weakest because the teams that they thought wasn't going to do nothing coming out the jump did something. And that was Tampa Bay and New Orleans Saints. So my thing is to solidify, at least make us neck and neck right now. We got to take this win. We got a big dub last week against them Saints, which was much needed. This win will at least get us to that top point of the mountain over them right now. So this is a big game. Both teams have talented players on both sides of the ball. I feel like the Falcons have a better defensive squad, but they cannot lean on their defense every week. What you saw last week, we're not going to get that every week. We're going to get a quarterback like a Patrick Mahomes, like a Josh Allen, that knows how to time management and know how to place the ball where it needs to be. We got lucky last week with Derek Carr, just throwing the ball and being able to take one back to the house, getting points off the defense. But that's not going. I would love for that to happen every week. Everybody who are fans of a team, an NFL team, want to see those type of turnovers every week. But we're not going to get that. We need Kirk Cousins and that wide receiver core to move the ball. And not only to talk about that, but Bijan has a hamstring injury that's been lingering. So I don't, going into tomorrow, I still need to see how he's going to, if he's even going to be able to, line up. That's going to change the offense. One thing about the Falcons that's scary to me is when one of your stars, and this always been that from Roddy White to now, when one of your stars get hurt, they go to one dimension. They become one dimensional.
Yeah.
It's like everything else is off the playbook. Then we just one dimensional. And that's what is scary to me. So we linked on Bijan so much over the last couple of seasons. And these first couple of games, last season in these first few games, we got to open up the playbook. We got to spread the ball. So this week right here, especially if Bijan don't play, hey, Kirk, you're going to have to spread the ball, man. This is that week, you're going to have to spread the ball, and it's going to be straight power run.
This game is for first place.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This game is for first place. This game right here, the winner of this game is first place in the NFC West.
Correct. It's South.
Correct. You guys have, NFC South, excuse me. Yeah. You guys beat New Orleans last week.
Correct.
Carolina's still trying to find their way.
That's right.
This game is for first place. This is for everything right here.
Yeah.
Atlanta's playing good ball. Atlanta's defense is playing really, really good ball. Now, I'm not going to take away what Baker and them doing. This is going to be a heavyweight battle right here. You look at that, what Baker Mayfield and them boys are doing over there. Mike Evans catching everything. Chris Godwin is probably the most dangerous slot receiver that's in football. He has been. He has been. I hate it to say that because he's destroyed my team in recent memory. But Chris Godwin is a baller, and they can run the ball. And their defense is always solid. Vita Vea is back right now that's able to stop that run. But I still believe in that home field advantage that Atlanta can bring. I believe that boy Coop can kick that ball anywhere from 60 on in, and he going to drain it.
Yeah.
I like the development of Drake London. I like the chemistry that him and Kirk Cousins are starting to put together. Do I like the fact that Bijan Robinson is dealing with a hamstring? Absolutely not. But you know what I do like? I do like the fact that Mr. Tyler Algier came in last week and gave y'all that lift and gave y'all some explosive runs that nobody expected coming. Now, I understand what you're saying about going one-dimensional. And if you do go one-dimensional, you will end up taking a L.
That's right.
So you still have to stay balanced. I give you that. I will say that you are absolutely right, on the money, 100%. But I believe with the way Tyler Algier is running the ball, they won't go one-dimensional. I believe they will stay I still believe they will stay run, pass, and maybe be able to keep Tampa Bay off balance. The one thing about Tampa Bay is this. If they're playing great football, they're playing great. They could probably beat anybody in the National Football League. But if they're not playing good and they're off a little bit that day, you can run through them cats, man. It just depends on what Tampa Bay that you're getting. I got to give it up for him, man. Bijan Robinson is definitely going to be missed in this if he's not able to go with that hamstring. A hamstring is a really, really tough injury to play with and come back from. That takes a long time. I did tear mine a long time ago. And so I do know what it does take to get through that injury. But like I said, Tyler Algier has actually been stepping up in that running back role. I expect him to step up tomorrow. And I'm going to go ahead and pick this game right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Falcons to win the game. 21-17.
21-17?
21-17.
Ooh, you play. Okay. we know I'm definitely going with them Atlanta Falcons. I'm definitely going with them. I feel that the game will be. This is going to be a scoring game, so I'm gonna go with 20. I'm gonna go with 20. I'm gonna go with 20-24. 20-24 Atlanta Falcons. Yep.
That's a good one. So you saying basically that Atlanta gonna kick that field goal when the game's gonna be 21-21. They're gonna kick that field goal.
It could be something like 20-21. Atlanta kick a field goal just to solidify that you don't got no timeouts. You got to come down the field and score a touchdown. I can lean on my defense on that part. One thing you did say, they do got a great wide receiver core, but the way Bates, Simmons is tearing it out down there, I'll be terrified to throw it to my slot because they already done picked off just about every quarterback we don't play.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that for the Atlanta Falcons. So yeah. I'm all for it. My pick is the Atlanta Falcons as well. So before we get out of here again, we do every session, we like to thank our fans who's tuning in to us. Again, this is our 4th episode of Our Take on Sports with Mr. GPG and myself, and we definitely are appreciative to all the love. We are getting better with each episode. We appreciate y'all allowing us to work out these kinks. I got to give a special shout out to Mr. GPG. It is his birthday today, so we're going to celebrate, turn up, take a couple of shots, take one for me. I might take one for you out here on the East Coast. And we, I just had to put that out there for the fans, man. Shout it out to my best bud, my ace boom coon, Mr. GPG. Happy birthday, dude.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love that you show me, man. And you know how tight me and you are, man. It don't get no tighter than what me and you are, man. And I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Please hit that subscribe button. Me and MP, man, all we trying to do is put on a good show for y'all, man, and keep you updated on the sports and everything that's going on in the world today, man. And I appreciate everybody that has hit that subscribe button already. And please share it with your friends, man. If you know anybody, man, that is looking for a good podcast, a couple of brothers, man, that they can listen to, get a little bit of sports information from, turn them on to Our Take on Sports, man. That's all we ask for.
Hey, man.
Appreciate y'all.
And we're going to end the session. We're going to end this segment just like that right there, saying happy birthday and everything that Mr. GPG just put out there. So, again, man, that's Mr. GPG.
And that's my man, Mr. MP80, baby.
And this is
Our Take on Sports.
There it is, man. Hey, salute. See y'all later.
Hey, what they talking about? They talking about what? They talking about sports. Oh, really? Well, this is
Out on the field, the ball on no courts. They wanna talk about sports. They need a resource